Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills housing update from Legoland in Florida. This is not a green screen. Air Canada canceled our flights, and so we had to find something to do for 4 days. Here we are at Legoland, and thankfully I've got my numbers on my Legoland paper. So this is a fun little update this week. So let's dive right in. We're gonna look at February's numbers. So in February of 2022, our average price was $1.394 million. So almost $1.4 million last year was our average price. This year we are down to $1,026,000. So that is down over 26% year over year. You might remember last February and March were really the peak of our market. That's as high as we got last year. And so no huge surprise to be down the 26% that we're seeing. Another notable thing is last February, 92 properties sold. This February, only 51 sold. So almost half the transactions, even though there is actually inventory available to buy. Another notable thing is in February of 2021, so 2 years ago, our average price was $1.1 million. So we are down where our pricing is down more than where we were 2 years ago. This is a conversation, again, like this is what sellers need to be realizing. Our prices are way, way backwards. So that's what happened in February. So now looking at our sales for last week, a very notable week. I'm like, holy cow, what happened while I was gone? Looking at Georgetown, we had 17 sales. That is a huge week for Georgetown. The market is so busy right now. I had a listing, it got 5 offers, and it actually got more than 100,000 over asking. And I didn't think I underlisted it. So we are back in that hype market. It's pretty crazy right now with buyers. So 17 sales in Georgetown. There was only 12 new listings, so that means inventory is going to be down. And quite a few properties overall came off the market. They terminated last week. I think it was 13 properties that I had that came off the market. So that's not really good for inventory either. Acton had 2 sales and 2 new listings. Glen Williams had 1 sale and 2 new listings. Nothing happened in Limehouse, and the rural market had 1 sale and 1 new listing. The notable thing to talk about on last week's sales, of those sales, 7 properties sold over the asking price. So, like I said, I had one that went a little bit crazy last week. Granted, Georgetown South, Ravine Lot, like something that doesn't come up all the time, but to see all these properties getting over asking is really surprising. And we are starting to see properties starting to hold off offers again. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, I talked about a property that was like on the market and they tried to go down to $699. Well, that didn't work and they're right back up to like their old list price. But some people, we're going to start to see people testing that strategy again now that the market's picking up. So looking at active inventory, this is crazy. All of Halton Hills, we are down to 106 active listings. When I did this 2 weeks ago, we were at 114 active listings. So we are going in the opposite direction that I thought we were going to go in. I still don't think that's going to be the case for the entire year, but really interesting to see what's happening right now. Looking at Georgetown, Georgetown is down to only 60 active listings. That's our lowest number since the start of the year. 2 weeks ago, we were at 66, so we're gradually making our way down. 60 is a very low number for Georgetown. But when we look at our active price points, under 800,000, there are 9 available listings, and 6 of them are freehold property. So even though it's very busy, we are still seeing price points coming backwards. So to have that many freehold properties under 800,000 is definitely notable for this week. 800 to $1 million is down from 18 active listings to 16, so things continue to move in that pocket. Over the $1 million price point, both of them is also really interesting to see where the numbers are. It started to get a bit busier, but in mid-February, we started to see the properties in the higher price points selling, and it's sort of back now. There's some movement. So 1 to 1.5 million is down from 21 to 18 active listings. So there is not a lot. Like in the peak of our market, we were over 50 listings in that 1 to 1.5 million range. So we're down to only 18, not a ton available. And I can tell you, because the listing I had last week was in that pocket, it was shockingly busy. I couldn't believe how busy it was. So that's interesting. The 1.5 million plus, we've actually seen quite a few transactions transact in that pocket. So we're down from 20 active listings to 17. Still, I would say the deadest price point. Very few buyers in that pocket, but interesting to see a couple of sales happening there. Acton is down from 15 to 12 active listings. 12 is pretty low. We were more than double that for December and most of January in Acton. So they've come down pretty significantly. So as the supply has dwindled, we're going to see more demand and activity happening in Acton, I imagine. Glen Williams, this is interesting. We're up from 6 to 9 active listings. That's quite a few listings for Glen Williams. Most of them are a higher ticket product, so they're not going to be moving, but there's still a couple of those lower price point things available in the Glen. Limehouse remain the same at 1 active listing, and the rural market is down from 26 to 24 active listings, still much higher than where we were in the rural market, but it's softening a bit. And what I noticed last week when I was looking at the new listings is I've been waiting for properties that were on the market last year to be coming on the market. And I think I came across 4 properties that were on the market in 2022, came off, and have now re-entered as new listings. So I think people are starting to see that demand is here, and we are probably going to start feeling an increase in listings in the coming month, I would say. And so I definitely don't think we're going to see like prices, dramatically increasing. I don't think that the market is going to like turn around and be going into a good spot. I do think what's happening right now is we're sitting with low inventory, and there is a lot of demand out there. Buyers have like climatized to where the interest rates are, and it's just busy right now. And so I think if you're a seller, it's a good time to be selling to capitalize on that. For buyers, it's very competitive. And if you hold off probably 2 or 3 months, you're probably going to be in a market that is much more favorable to you not having to compete and to having the ability to put in conditions again and things like that. But right now we're sort of in an in-between that I'm surprised to see this year because of the interest rates and where we came from, but it's happening. So I will be back next Tuesday, hopefully in Canada, with what happens and where the trends are going. I think right now we're going to continue to see sales heavy, and listings are going to, I think, remain somewhat low, but I think that's going to change over the next 4 weeks. So I'll be back next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.